All right. Dan the driving man. How's St. Louis, Missouri doing? All right. Here I am on another podcast. I want to talk about side hustles today. I'm interested to know what you guys' side hustles are. How are you making extra income during COVID-19? That's what I'm curious about. Because a lot of our ideas, a lot of the stuff that we've been doing, came actually. A lot of the ideas came from Yuribruce, this community, and it's worked. So much so that during this pandemic, we're doing okay. Uh, that attitude of just always hustling has really paid off for us. Let me see if I can get the chat going over here. Awesome, Bruce. How's your better half? Yuri's doing great. She's doing good. Can't complain. How about you, man? How's it going? How's your show going? The prospects of your show. Is that still in the works? I am going to. This is just weird, man. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to answer some questions, but I also want to talk about side hustles. But let me see. One of our very first side hustles was this site, was this channel. And this channel, it YouTube does make some income with AdSense, but it's really not a lot. The real power behind YouTube is actually something else. um, it's not in the AdSense. That's what attracts people, but honestly, that's not. After years of doing this, there's another very powerful part of AdSense that I mean, not AdSense, of YouTube, that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. So this right here, I think, is a great start for our side hustle because it can be used for other things. Um, and one of those other things is advertising. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense because YouTube comes from Google, and Google really, most of their revenue comes from purely from advertising. So YouTube, I think, is a perfect start for somebody because it actually hooks you up with a community of people who will be interested in some of the same things you're interested in, and that's, I think, has been really helpful for us. Uh, Big Trucker, how you doing? He says, if you can make and sell masks with a designer emblem. That's an awesome idea. That's an awesome idea. Do you have any side hustles? You guys have any side hustles? We definitely have many, and YouTube is just one of them. And YouTube, by the way, we have three or four channels, and each one of those, um, we have a plan, a long-term plan for, and then some of those, like two of them, actually advertise other things. So you have the AdSense that brings in some kind of income, but then on top of that, you have the things that we sell on the back end, and not even just things that we've created like services and products or whatever, but you can also sell other people's things. That's affiliate marketing. You can do affiliate marketing, which does make us some income, by the way. So there's that. We probably have about 5 or 6 income streams. We have about 5 or 6. We've got real estate. We've got YouTube, AdSense by itself. We have courses, and then we have affiliate programs, and then we've got books. And so each one of those things brings in, 5 or 6 different income streams. So it's really helped us when we hit, like when I don't have a job and stuff like that. Like it really helps out. Somebody said, Big Trucker said, make mask. Okay, Dan says, income streams, farm in the Philippines promoting electric cars, investing in EV domain names, EV electric vehicle domain names. I am currently one of the highest mileage, 100% electric rideshare in America. Oh wow, that's awesome, man. You know, lately, Dan, we've been really getting into, really getting into electric vehicles. We're gonna go ahead and get that Cybertruck if we can. Big Trucker says, I take YouTube money and invest it in stock market and mutual funds. That's brilliant. What in the heck are they doing over there? So we've also been doing stocks. We do cryptocurrency. We do, and those are, I don't know, it's mixed. It's kind of a mixed thing for us. Cryptocurrency, I've got some left, but I actually had to sell a lot of it because I lost my job, and we were kind of in this area where I'd had no income coming in for a while, so we just took my crypto and then sold it. Dan says, I got 100% out of debt years ago. Man, that's incredible. That is incredible. Andy, how you doing, man? He says, hi guys, how are you? Hey Bruce. Hey, wait a minute, Bruce. Can I get some of that? What can I do to get some money? That's what we're talking about. That's what I would like to talk about on this one, because we've noticed that, like, you know, obviously a lot of people are having some problems, and the problem is, honestly, having one income is a problem, and having that one income be employee is a huge issue. So there's several ways to start. And Andy, what I was saying is, Yuri and I's first extra income together, because I've been doing this for a long time. You know, but even before I met Yuri, like, I started several businesses, some of which failed, but some actually did okay. One of the first things I did was start a blog. Blogging, I don't recommend that. That's so old now. That's 20 years old now. But right now, what's hot is social media, and starting on YouTube, I think, is a great start. Great start. You won't make money immediately, and you got to have a long-term plan. So it's not, you know, something that you're gonna immediately start making money. It's gonna take probably a year of grinding to make even not even that much. Something that you can make money quickly on, I would recommend something like what you probably want to do in the beginning. What you probably want to do in the beginning is just do any kind of job, like any kind of job where you can collect extra income. Like what I would do if I had very little or no skills, I would do, like, and I had a car, I would do rideshare. I would do probably Uber or Lyft or Uber Eats or DoorDash or something like that as an extra income. Just having that extra income coming in. And then I would collect that extra income for something bigger. That's what I would do. Okay, I got a few people here. Big Trucker says Bitcoin at this point is a Ponzi scheme. Even with the halving finishing, it never saw 11,000. So I was lucky enough to kind of get in early. So actually I got in to where right before it blew up, and it did. When I was in, it actually did get to get pretty high, over 11,000. And then there were other cryptocurrencies that we had too that were made some money. and it got to a point where actually my investments were worth about 100, over 100,000. Like I had about 130,000 in cryptocurrency, but my dumbass didn't sell it. I just held on to it and held on to it and held on to it until it went back down again. So, and it went back down to a point where, you know, we just didn't have that much, and I was in between jobs, and we needed capital, we needed money, so I just went ahead and sold it. You know, most of it, like 90% of it, got sold. So I wouldn't say it was in my mind, it's not a Ponzi scheme. I know some people hate on it or whatever. It's legit. Like, having used it, I actually was using it in transactions and stuff. It's way better than, it has the potential to be better than credit and cash. So it's definitely an option, and I just think it needs further development. There's problems with crypto. I would say that it's not fully developed enough. It needs to develop further to where it's very easy to, where you can use it on your phone, like where you could just use it like PayPal or something like that. It's getting to that point, but it's not there yet. Like none of the cryptocurrencies are there yet, in my opinion. But it has a lot of potential. Like one time, let me tell you the potential of cryptocurrency. One time, I sent like $10,000 worth of crypto to another account that I owned. Like I needed it to go from here to here to this, from this account to this account, right? And it took me, I mean, I want to say it was about $4 to transfer it from. It was a couple dollars to send it from this account to this account. If you were to wire transfer 10, and it was instantaneous, it was like within 10 minutes, it was from this account to this account. If you were to transfer that much from a bank, between two banks, first of all, it's going to cost you like $20 or $30 to wire it, right? Unless you have some kind of special deal, and then it takes days to get it from here to there. It's just, you know, crypto definitely has some potential. I just wish, you know, I can't wait to see it like further develop. Big Trucker says, I used to trade Bitcoin till the government got involved, and we never saw 19,000 again. Honestly, I think this is just my personal opinion about it, and I know some people feel very strongly about this. I think that there has to be some level of regulation for it before it to really explode, because there's too many Ponzi schemes. There's real scams out there for it, and until you control a lot of that bullshit that's out there, I just don't know how big it can really get, because there's too many greedy people, you know, who are trying to game the system. And so that's why you need regulation. It's got to not be the wild, wild west anymore for it to like really, really see global, for people to all over the world to like really accept it as something that you could pay in Walmart with, you know. But I think it still has potential. It's just going to have to be it's got to develop further. Where is the damn chat box? There it is. Chat box. Give me a second here. I need to get my chat box going if I can. There we go. Regulation ruins it. The whole point of Bitcoin is to have decentralization, deregulation. Well, I mean, even Bitcoin has regulations built into it. That's the point of cryptocurrency, is that it's decentralized, and the regulation is built into it. The rules are actually built into the actual technology. That's the same thing with Dash and EOS and all the other cryptocurrencies. The regulation is built into it. For big business to be able to start using it on a regular basis, you have to have externally governments have to have some kind of regulation. I don't agree with SEC's regulations, like how they implemented it and made it harder for regular people like you and me to get in. I don't agree with that regulation, but I see what they're trying to do. I just didn't necessarily. I think that they kind of tightened the screws a little bit too much to make it so that, to try to protect people from getting screwed, they kind of screwed people out of some money, in my opinion. Regulation by government adds taxation, background checks. I mean, all I, you know, man, this is where you and I really part ways because I really believe that you have to have some level of regulation and taxation. I think all that's necessary for us to for things to function properly. Otherwise, you just it's just wild wild west, and people are screwing each other and running away with a bunch of cash, and it doesn't make any sense anymore. Dan says I was in a financial consultant for a bank and corporations here and and left that world in 1984. Traded commodities from home while in college. Bought and sold gold twice in my life. That's awesome. Big Trucker says when I was send money to the MoneyGram or WU, it's instantaneous. Sure. Uh, when you send or receive, Bitcoin doesn't stand on its own, and there's no intrinsic value. Um, no government will allow cryptocurrency. No government will allow cryptocurrency to threaten their centralization. Well, that's the thing. You can't stop it. If there was a time when I had $10,000 on my phone, and then what they did was there was a there was something, and it still exists, where you could have it go directly to a card, and then they allowed it to where you could pull that money directly from your cryptocurrency wallet to your card. And then there's one that was untraceable. So if I'm doing transactions from my phone, untraceable, right, from an encrypted wallet, how's the government going to regulate that? And as far as money laundering is concerned, there's cryptocurrencies like Monero that are not traceable. Monero and several others are completely not traceable. So um, there's only so much you can do to stop cryptocurrency. You're not going to stop it. Governments aren't going to stop it. You know, parts of it are going to go unregulated. So, and did you know, like, it was made because of that very reason? 2008 crash, where the government and the SEC and the banking system colluded to basically rob people. That's why cryptocurrency was created. So you're not going to stop it. You know what I mean? So that said, you know, if there has to be some kind of balance between things like real estate and cryptocurrency, or land titling and stuff like that. It has to have some kind of regulation. You know, without regulation, think about it. If you have no regulation, I don't want to take up the whole conversation with this, but if you have no regulation, think about codes and housing codes. I don't know if you've ever been in a developing country, like a country with no regulations, like Afghanistan. So I was there. They don't have any standards at all. Like uh, just common like lights. Like if you were having electricity in your home, like inside of the houses and stuff, it was all over the place, right? Because it was just the wild wild west. I mean, I'm sure they have regulations, but people kind of like sometimes they use it and sometimes they don't. You know. So, I mean, regulation is necessary. I don't understand why people who say that there's like regulation is not necessary. Government can stop it by making it illegal. Sure, China made it illegal. Do you remember that? Do you remember when China made it illegal? Guess what? They were still using it in China. Several countries made it illegal, Big Trucker. I don't know how much you follow cryptocurrency, but I was following it, and several countries, including China, made it illegal for a time until they figured out they can't make till they figured out that it made more sense to try to tax it, like the U.S. is trying to do. It's way smarter to make it legal and then just tax it. Think about it. All right, I got two of these on the same size. I did not want to have a discussion. I wasn't trying to make a discussion about straight up cryptocurrency, by the way. That wasn't my intention. So I'm going to move on. Is crypto a real investment or just speculation? The best value? Well, I mean, it's many things to many people. Um, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys and say I didn't make money off of it. I did. Um, I did. It worked for me. I don't know. But what other things? Okay, if you guys don't believe in crypto, let's cut that one out of the conversation. Crypto, let's get it out. What other things have you guys made money off of? Dan says he's thinking about doing a farm or has already done a farm. Um, Dan says what people don't realize is that you put your money in a bank, it is just gonna be there. It's just not gonna be there anymore. It reinvests. They reinvested it by guys. It's reinvested by guys like me or loans out, and it's gone. Somebody said just like toilet paper and oh, still talking about crypto. um, yeah, like I said, I want to know what you guys have made money off of. What are you guys doing right now? Right now to make money. Side hustles. That's what I want to talk about. I've talked about my side hustles, real estate. It works. That's all I'm going to say. It works. Um, Cryptocurrency was one, but I know that some people have a religious hate about it, so I won't talk about it too much. 401ks is something I have done before. Stocks, definitely stock options I've done before. Um, Land, uh, courses. I create courses, I sell them, and then also books. We sell books. All of those little streams of income trickle in to our accounts, and that's what we've been doing. And it's the beauty of that is that even if when I got laid off of my job last year, I got laid off because we lost our contract. It had nothing to do with COVID or any kind of Trump or anything like that. It was just we lost the contract. Our company lost a large contract, and then we had to get new jobs. So luckily Yuri and I have been just grinding. So I had cryptocurrency I could sell. I sold it. We had income coming in from, luckily, swallowed my pride and went to the VA, and that had been money trickling in. So we had all of these different side hustles coming in, all this money, and it saved us, man. It freaking saved us. And it was at a time. So losing my job wasn't really the issue. You know what I mean? Like there was other things going on. Like I had gotten a divorce and I was still paying my ex-wife 45% of my income. And then she was taking me to court. I was going to court at the same time I lost my job. I was still having to pay her alimony. And then what else happened? Several disasters all happened at once. This was mid last year. And because we had all this other income coming in, we were able to not only survive but move out of our house and buy another house. So side hustles, man, like I'm telling you, like in this world, like in this current state of affairs that we're living in this, and I'm not gonna talking about Trump, I'm not talking about COVID-19, I'm talking about before Trump. Like this has been in decline for a long time. The US has been in decline for a long time. I'm talking about for middle class people. For rich people, it's great. It's the greatest time in history for rich people. We have the most millionaires, the most billionaires, the most rich people ever in the history of humanity right now, right? So for them, it's great, and then the gap is getting bigger. But for middle class in the U.S., it's getting harder to survive. And the way that we have survived and the way that we've been able to do okay to well is that we have all these side hustles. So I'm asking you guys, what is your side hustle? And if you're not side hustling, why not? Why haven't you done it yet? Dan says, pandemic, are you getting pandemic disaster payments? Or are you asking who's getting pandemic disaster payments? Birdman says, no side hustling yet. Contemplating sales and affiliate marketing. Man, I'm telling you, Birdman, like, you got to do it, man. Like, in this day and age, you can't. I don't see how people get by on one income, especially if your one income happens to be employment. Instacart Prime. Okay, Dan says Instacart Prime Time Full Time Shopping Consistence Bureau Audit Emulator. I'm not sure what he means by that. 18% return if they want it back. Okay, let me see if I can find some more people actually side hustling. I'm surprised more people don't do it. Besides Dan and Big Trucker, I'm wondering who else is. He says real estate is excellent. Yeah, it's definitely the best investment I've ever made. Real estate investing is the best investment I've ever made, for sure. But hands down, not even bar none. Nothing comes close to it. Dan says Instacart Prime Time. Okay, I already read that. Big Brother says bought a house with big section, rented the main house, and put the tiny house at the back to live in rent free. Not a side hustle as much as it saves money for now. Man, that's brilliant. You said you bought a house with a side section, you rented the main house, and you put a tiny house at the back to live in rent free. That is brilliant. That's that's the kind of innovative thinking outside the box that you have to do in this day and age. For real. Dan says I'm looking at up to 20,000 already through end of the year. You are rich if you are out of debt. Zero owned. Zero owned to anyone. Yeah, that's incredible. So I got somebody who bought property and they're bought property, rented out the house, and then they're living in a rent free in a tiny house in the back. Dan says he has no debt and is about to make about 20,000 through the year. But with no debt, that's a lot of money, for a year. With no debt at all. So that's another innovative outside the box thinking. Big Brother says, been contemplating lots of side hustles, but I am still hesitating. Thought of YouTube, but I don't feel like I have what it takes. I mean, man, look at this. Look what I'm doing, man. I'm just sitting here talking to you guys. I mean, for real. I'm just literally just talking to you guys. And what I do is I convert this into a podcast and I split it into parts. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about stuff I want to talk about. And I have another channel where I talk about my expertise, which is IT stuff. So that's all I do. I'm just sitting here talking to you guys. And some people find some of the stuff that we put out there valuable. Or not even valuable as much as entertaining. Or just want to see what we're doing. So yeah, I mean, I would say YouTube's not for everyone, but it was one of our first side hustles together, and I would say a smart one. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try it. Dan says, Bruce, I am Bruce consensus temporary jobs to end 2020. $20 an hour. Vets get prior hiring. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Rental risky if renters lose jobs. I think it depends on how you do it. It depends on how you do it. So for us, so what we did was, and you're right. Like if once renters stop paying, so you should probably have the income to actually take care of that. Because if they don't pay, which happens, you have to come out of your pocket and pay it. So if you paid the rent down enough, you can afford it. You know what I mean? So, and then if like Big Brother says he bought the house and he's renting it out and he lives rent free on the back. So that eliminates two rents, because that's the fear right there, is that you're living in one house and you're paying that rent. Then you have renters and then they move out and now you're paying two rents. So that is a risk that you have to consider. Worst case scenario, you could just sell the property, B3 Passat Turbo says, I'm about to get 900 square feet of land for $500 in back taxes and a house for another 500, finishing the house up, renting it out, and building on the land if I get it. Wow, what state is this in? Is this for somebody who didn't pay the taxes? It's like one of those abandoned houses that somebody didn't pay the property tax on. Buffering. I haven't had to work 1 day, 1 hour. I want to in many years now. And Dan, how are you not working? Said you had a duplex before. Maryland. Oh man, Maryland. So is it? Oh, okay. So that's what you did. Yeah, I've heard about that. One time I was in Cebu, and this brother comes up to me. He saw Yuri, and he's like, "Whoa!" He's looking at Yuri, looking at me. He's like, "Wow, where'd you find this one at?" Right? And we start laughing, and stuff. And him and I start talking. Turned out he was from Texas, and he started telling me about. He started telling me game, spitting game to me, talking about like how he's doing it. He was living off of. He had bought a whole bunch of rental properties by doing the tax thing. Like people don't pay their property tax, and then they auction out. The state of Texas would then auction out those houses that didn't have property paid. He'd come in, buy them up, then he'd rent them out. He was living off the rent and living in Cebu, like in a condo in Cebu, living the life. Dude was like late 40s, 50s at the time. And, like in Cebu, in the Philippines, you can live a lot cheaper. Or in Thailand. As a matter of fact, we met a couple guys who was doing the same thing in Thailand, just living in Thailand. I think it's changed now. The laws in Thailand are a little bit more difficult to live there. But, yeah, that's definitely something you can do. Big Brother says, I also buy a cheap thing that I can pay even if I was on benefit. I see. On benefits with a 20% deposit. Okay. To make sure I can afford it if the renter doesn't come in. Exactly. The rent doesn't come in. Right. You have to factor in like, what if I don't get that rent? Can I still pay it? Right. That's something that we definitely factored in. Like, what happens? Worst case scenario, they don't pay. What are we going to do? How can we pay it? Right? Because it does happen. It's a reality, especially in times like this. Which I don't think this is going to be the first or the last. This won't be the last time something like this happens, by the way. So we got to be prepared. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I'm not trying to, just saying that to be pessimistic. It's been bad for a long time, and now we're starting to see the frayed edges are starting to come loose, right? All COVID-19 did was show how bad it really is economically for the world, really, but especially for the U.S. I can't really speak on other countries, but the U.S. has this frayed and tattered, strings coming loose economy for the middle class and the lower middle class. And now those frayed edges are starting to come loose, and we're starting to see the real deal with how weak the economy is for middle class people. And I know it's much worse for some other countries, but we got to deal with what we can fix. Dan says in 3 months, hundreds of thousands of properties will be foreclosed on, just like in 2008. But this time much worse, many times worse. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a gigantic foreclosure, but that's what it seems like is happening. It looks like a tsunami is about to happen because people aren't getting paid and so many people are getting laid off. It's just a matter of time before the bills build up. Now, they're talking about doing something as far as like allowing like debt forgiveness or renters forgiveness or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure how far we're going to take that. And then you still have to worry about things like property tax, because if people don't pay if say the banks are like, okay, nobody has to pay their mortgages for 2 more months, right, or 3 months, whatever. So there's still the issue of property tax that has to be paid. The property tax goes to pay local services like the police department, fire department, the roads, stuff like that. So those local taxes help out the infrastructure. That's how it's supposed to work. So at some point, we have to figure something out. Dan says my brother from Florida netted over 1.3 million in free and clear real estate raw land, only flipping it. Time's about to get tougher very soon. I think times are tougher right now, but it's gonna get even worse. 3. So yeah, I agree with you, Dan. 3 Passat says B3 Passat says 10 years and I'll be in the Philippines with 2 streams of income living. That's a great plan, man. That's a great plan. Dan says he went to cash before the market crashed, and we met on here earlier this year. And we both did the same thing in 2006, 2 years before the last crash. So you just got lucky, man. Played the market right. I know 5 people who are making more on unemployment with $600 a week in payments than, yeah, that's the same thing, man. Crazy thing about this economy, like, think about this. Me, middle class guy, I don't know a single person who has COVID-19. But why? Why is that? Because we don't have the capacity to test enough people. So of course people I know have it, right? People that I have met have it. People who I know, friends and family, have it. But we don't know that we don't have it because we don't have the capacity to test these people. So meanwhile, people are already on unemployment, and people, the fact that people can make more money on unemployment than they can from their job is sad to me. It's very sad. Why go to work if your unemployment is paying you $600 a week and you're now making more sitting at home? It's just something very wrong about our economy. It's just not right. And maybe, and it's not, I don't think it's enough to sit here for me to complain about the economy, the capitalism, whatever, right? Whatever problems we have. I think that my mind is always floated to a solution. How can I fix this? What can I change? Number one, don't worry about stuff I can't change. It's illogical. It doesn't make any sense. Focus on stuff I can change. What can I change? I can have extra streams of income. This is how my mind works. I can have extra streams of income. How can I have extra streams of income? What can I do right now to make more income? My mind immediately floats to delivering pizzas. I got a car. That's a huge asset that I can use. That's not an asset, but it's something I can use to get an asset. I can deliver pizzas. I can do DoorDash. I can do, like, that's how my mind works. I'm going to collect that extra income. Then I'm going to flip that income. I'm going to use that extra income. Now, mind you, that means I got 2 jobs, but that means I have more income from the second job to then flip that income to something else. Starting a YouTube channel, doing a podcast for a long-term investment. That's how I think, and that's what I've been doing. That's where 100% of my grind goes. Dan says, now we are looking at land that produces edible foods people must eat and work to get the food to eat. Once the unemployment disaster payments end, the largest transfer of wealth in history in America, cash will be king. Yeah, I don't know where this is going, but it doesn't look good. Honestly, don't know where this is going, but it's not looking good for us. I wish we had somebody in our favor in government. It just doesn't look like we do, and there's no political will for to vote for anybody who does. So that said, taking matters into our own hands means getting extra income, and then not only. And I would encourage people, if you're watching this, I would encourage you not only to think about having two jobs, but using the second job to get a different kind of income, passive income. And that passive income saved me several times. Dan says, if you don't save every dollar, you can get out of debt ASAP. You will be at risk. Yeah, I mean, what we're doing is have gotten ourselves to a point where we've got great credit and have paid our debt down to where it's very manageable. And then we have a 10-year plan, right? 10-year plan to just get all of these different streams of income and then focus on the ones that work. And to the point where I'm okay, my kids are okay, and then our extended family is okay. And then I don't know. Then I mean, to the point where I can replace my income with these other streams of income if I want. Like I can replace my job with these other sources of income. Yeah. So, what are your streams? What's your plan? Do you have a 5-year plan to get out to have more than one income, preferably passive income? All right, just reading through my comments here, and might have to do more of these regular videos where nothing really happens. I'm gonna crank more of these out. I got a lot of them. Till this day, I am at a competitor to Louisiana seasoning. Dan says my grandfather bought one half a town in Kentucky after the crash of 1929. Yeah. I mean, for all the disasters that happened in the Great Depression, a lot of people made out. Like people who were prepared financially made out like crazy. Just reading through some comments here. Jen Lopez says, good day. I hope you get to see this. I really need an answer. I emailed Denise about a product shoot. Okay, I don't know what this lady's talking about. I don't know who Denise is. Maybe she messaged the wrong person? Well, at first it was suspicious. Not until I decided to look for her social media and I find her account anywhere, and somehow this person is linked to buy a website. Is linked to you. Who is Denise? Is she a scammer? Let me see. I don't know what she's talking about. This might be that lady who tried to use Yuri's information to yeah, this might be that lady who this name. Yeah, so years ago, this Denise, somebody using the name of Denise Manlutkin, Lutak. She was on Facebook using Yuri's information as she was an identity thief. But I don't know if this is the same Denise. So I'll just tell her, not sure if this is the same Denise, but years ago, someone on Facebook using that name did ID theft on Yuri. Sincero. Not sure if it is a scam. Might be another Denise. We made a video about it, but YouTube made us take it down because it showed her name. Somebody actually flagged it because someone flagged it. Not sure if the photo shoot is a scam. So your grandfather had the largest drive-in movie theater in Knoxville, Tennessee back in 1950s and turned it into a shopping center and then sold it for $7.2 million. Cash will rule for the next 1 to 5 years. P3 Passat says, house for back taxes was my grandmother's house. Children sold it, so I'm getting it back and adding it to my investments. Told my wife I'm building for my children so that they have a good start in life. Man, that's great. Love to hear that. It's that kind of forward and that really builds generational wealth. You know, people thinking 100 years ahead, you know, instead of just tomorrow for tomorrow and blowing their whole stimulus check on a TV or something. Dan says, if the dollar collapses, have a variety of assets in your portfolio. If not, bad news. These are unprecedented, unknown times ahead of us all. Prepare as soon as possible. 6 to 12 months or less. Think so? I think that I think a collapse is going to take decades. It's going to take decades of stupidity, which we have. Don't get me wrong. But I think that right now what's happening is the wealthy have bought into our judicial and our legislative branch. So it's bought and paid for. The Congress and the Senate. And I hate this. I know this just is depressing to think about, but I think what's happening is that we have an oligarchy. Like it's the beginnings of an oligarchy. Kind of like what's in Russia. Like Russia's an oligarchy. Russia is controlled by the wealthy. Like Putin has a bunch of oligarchs around him. And those oligarchs do what he says. And he puts those oligarchs in charge of certain aspects of the nation. You've got some kind of a Senate or some kind of a Congress or whatever, but the real people who run the country are the oligarchs. The U.S., I think, is kind of inching in that direction because the wealthy are able to prop up certain senators. They're able to fund and pay for certain senators and certain Congress people to pass certain laws. And if you want a good example of how far money can go, you can look at Bloomberg. Like, look how far Bloomberg got. He got in way late in the election, and then just put like $500 million into his, like $500 million got him pretty far, got him on the stage. And if he hadn't been such a, he's not very good on stage, but if he'd been more charismatic, if he was a better speaker, he might have been able to beat all of them. Honestly, there wasn't a lot of great competition out there. In my mind, Andrew Yang was dope. So was, I like Bernie Sanders, but nobody wants to hear what they have to say. So his only real competition was Biden. So if he had been a better speaker, I think he could have won. KP55, how you doing, man? We're talking about side hustles. Like, the reason why side hustles are important, how to, like, maybe some suggestions on what kind of side hustles you can do, and then sharing each other's side hustles so that we can each get some ideas on what to do. There's been some really good ones, like the tax idea, the idea of like buying the taxes, buying properties where property taxes haven't been paid, and then flipping those into real estate sounds really interesting to me. Real estate investments. Big Brother says, speaking of flagging Bruce, one of the reasons I hesitated with YouTube is the cancel culture and bashing, hate, trolling, and I currently observed. I'm a bit of an introvert and have a job, and I can't afford to risk. So, Big Brother, I'm the same. When we started this, I was the kind of jobs I do require me to have a clearance. And only recently has it not been important for me to keep a clearance. And that being said, I got to be careful about certain things. You know, it's got to be pretty far-fetched for me to get flagged or something like that. But I am an introvert. But the beautiful thing about this medium is that it's allowed me to have close relationships that I wouldn't normally have with people I just met. And which is crazy. It's crazy to say that as an introvert, but I'm able to interact with people on the same mindset, because I found as an introvert, I relate. Essentially, I get drained if I'm in a crowd. Like if I'm in a crowd of people, and everybody's having fun and everything, but me, I'm getting like, I feel like the life is getting sucked out of me, kind of. But when I'm around people who are speaking the same language as me, when we can sit here and talk about business, or we can talk about side hustles, or we can talk about relationships, or we can talk about K1, we have something in common, then I can sit here and talk all day, So it's been a great relief for me to continue to be a part of this community. The trolls and the hate, yeah, that's real, man. That's totally real. But the thing is, what I found is the more trolls and more haters that you get, the more success you have. And I'm not talking about like if you start drawing pictures of Muhammad or something like that. Obviously you're going to get a certain level of hate, if you're doing controversial things. But if you're just doing a normal YouTube channel or podcast or something, and you happen to say something controversial every now and then, what happens is the trolls and the haters, they're kind of a milestone. Because once you get a certain level of penetration into a certain culture or into a certain genre or a certain category, these people see you and there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. You know what I mean? They have some kind of insecurity. They're offended by what you said because they're insecure and their feelings are hurt. They feel bad about, there's something wrong with them, and they have, what else? Think about psychologically. A person watches your entire video and then they're so upset that they feel the need to put a negative, something negative on you about it, right? Um, it's one thing to do it once or twice or something like that, but the real trolls are people who do it over and over and over and over and make videos about you, and they're obsessed about you, right? Those are the people who are really causing issue. They're so hurt by what you said that they can't sleep at night. There's something wrong with them, right? It's, I mean, it happens though. It does happen. Like this guy right here. Kasparov, the God of War, says, I made this video years ago about how I got scammed. And I said, I got scammed for money by a Filipino scammer, right? And this guy says, bruh, the nerd vibe you gave him made her thirsty for blood. Like, should I be offended by this? I'm not. I'm not offended because I know what happened. I don't know like what this guy's issue is. He doesn't like the way I talk. I sound like a nerd. I think being a nerd is dope. I make more money than most people because I'm a nerd. I owe a lot to it. Like I'm over it. I'm over the insults like this. So I don't care what people like this say. So something's going on with him. That's his perspective on it. The reality of it is that the scams happen because people need money over there, right? The scams happen because people like us, people with a big heart, are trying to help people over there, but they're going on dating sites to do it, and it's funding this market. That's the reality of it. It's not because I'm a nerd and I gave off this vibe. No, they try to scam everybody who gets on there. You just gotta know how to find it. Daryl Charity, how you doing? He says, Bruce, the haters are going to hate, but like Taylor Swift said, just shake it off. That's pretty corny, man. But thanks. And you're right. Dan says, Bruce, I quit watching TV almost 4 years ago, and I only read, research, learn, educate myself. Other than that, I advise and help the same 501c3 not-for-profit charity of 58 years for the last 23 years here. That's awesome, man. That's incredible. I love meeting people like this because you guys, not only you guys inspire me, but it's given me different ideas of what I can do for my family, right? It's been really a blessing. The reason why Yuri has her current job is because somebody who we met in person and became a great friend of ours from another state. We actually happened to meet her, and she became a mentor for us. And is a Filipina who's very wealthy, and she gave advice to where we start going in this other direction. And now Yuri's in the healthcare industry, and she really likes it because of this lady. The reason I started doing other YouTube channels was because of this channel. I realized that there was another audience who wanted to talk about financial stuff, so we started another channel on that. People would ask me questions about computer stuff, IT, risk management stuff, and I started another channel because of that. So this channel has been like a fertile ground to start other things. And then also I met a couple people who are huge real estate investors, right? Who happen to be marrying a Filipina. So that's how they found us. And we ended up meeting at least one of these people in person, and went to a restaurant with them, talked, and they were like this dude was like breaking down why he does it, how he does it, how he started, broke everything down, even offered for us to fly there to his place, and he would show us like everything, how to do it, everything. And so I met so many awesome people on this channel, in this community, that has helped us to expand our worldview, right? So even though, we may not agree on things, like me and Big Trucker don't agree on most things, but I respect his hustle. I respect his point of view. I respect his right to have a point of view, and I'm listening to him. I'm like, maybe that's right. Maybe I'm wrong. So that worldview, like me thinking and being an objective, critical thinker, and listening to you guys' ideas, I think has really helped us out a lot. And so that's why this YouTube channel has been a blessing in disguise. Even with the haters, like I get haters, man, I get them, you know, but I'm the love that we receive is 95%, right, of what we get. Like if I read through these comments, 95% of this stuff is positive, but there's gonna be a solid 5% who really hates my guts. But it's like, you can't win them all, That's just the reality of it. Dan says, I haven't gotten a scammed yet in the Philippines. Use due diligence and do your homework. Supervise and be wise. Absolutely. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Hey, Andy, you missed a lot, man. You missed a lot. What are you doing these days, Andy? What's your situation looking like, man? You planning on going back to the Philippines anytime soon? Have you been to the Philippines yet? I guess that's a first question I should ask. Andy's been with us for years, man. Andy. Ancient Artifacts Andy. I say that because one time we were talking and then he brings up ancient aliens artifacts, and then we're like, what? What the hell are you talking about? We were talking about Filipino stuff. Philippines or traveling there or something. He starts talking about ancient aliens, and we're like, what the hell? And dissing me at the same time. He's dissing me and talking about ancient aliens. I'm like, what? That was hilarious, man. I'll never forget that. I was working. You're working from home? That's awesome, man. I haven't been there yet. My girlfriend and I broke up. Yeah, that was several months ago. Like, have you moved on yet? Have you gotten a new love, new lady? You're a tall, attractive brother, man. You should be pulling ladies left and right. Dan says, I have 3 plus friendships and business relationships already in the Philippines. To succeed, you have to take a calculated risk. Absolutely. Only invest in what you can afford to lose without losing sleep. Exactly, man. That's definitely a great lesson that we learned from all the investing and stuff we've done over time. Don't put anything forward you can't afford to lose. Andy says, speaking of which, look up UFOs in Brazil. It's real. Footage of UFOs. I've been looking. A real good one, Andy, you probably already know about this one, is the one in on that Navy ship. The Navy captain who came forward with a film, and he went on Joe Rogan and everything. He was on some of the major news networks, everything. He was just telling his story about how he was flying and then saw this ship and they chased it down. And then the Navy came forward and confirmed it and said, yep, we don't know. The Navy made an official announcement saying, we have no idea what this thing is. And that film is real. Real interesting times, I think, still for the alien community. Ancient aliens type stuff. All right. Andy says, I lost what game I had. I'm shooting air balls, bro. Oh, you gotta keep trying, man. Don't give up. That's the secret. Don't give up. All right, let me read some more of these comments here. I've been completely ignoring these lately. Timothy says, I really like these vlogs. It's right to the point and it leaves me wanting more. Leaves me wanting more. I'm greedy. Maybe I'm greedy. Yuri can throw down in the kitchen. Yeah, Yuri can really cook, man. Thanks. I'll do more of these. I'll do more of these regular type things. I got a lot of these actually just sitting around, but I didn't know if my audience here would like it, so I just Usually wouldn't put it out there. Oh, this is a long one. All right. Bruce, 90-day fiance contacted me again 3 times in 2 years. Wow. If I move forward, I'll update you and Yuri to advise. You never know. Man, Dan, I don't recommend doing it, man. I mean, I guess you can, if you really want fame. I mean, that one guy with no neck, I don't know his name, but he's famous now. But he's famous with hate. You know what I mean? Like, people just kind of make fun of him and hate on him and stuff. And it's like, it's not even that so much as like risking your relationship. So it's like they kind of, I mean, granted, that guy and some other guys are kind of clowns, so that's no doubt that's why they put him on the show. But sometimes they'll edit the show, reality shows, in such a way that they have a bad guy and they create drama and stuff. Man, if you value a relationship, I would advise not to do it. But the fame is definitely gonna come once you do it. So, Andy says, I saw that video you're speaking of and saw it. The Brazil one is real. Okay, I'll check that out. It's from earlier this week. Whoa, really? Birdman says, I now have my Filipina bride and need her here stateside. So side hustle will be a standing required. Will be the standing requirement, I think you mean. All right, I'm gonna check out these aliens. Check out some ancient aliens that Andy's talking about. Alien footage, Brazil. All right, Andy, this better be real, man. I bet a lot of these are fake, man. Just so you know. Just so you know, a lot of these are fake. Skip the ad. All right, this what you're talking about, Andy? Or is this something else? Whoa. What the heck is that thing? Whoa, that's pretty dope. If it's real. Let me see. Is there anything else? They're showing where it actually happened at. Maybe it's ball lightning. But it's blinking. It's blinking like in a rhythmic pattern, so that can't be. This is the, man, this is trippy. How about, is this the one you're talking about? 6 different angles of video this week. This is interesting. Whoa, that's super close up. Wait, let me see that first part again. This looks, it looks kind of too good, man. It looks kind of too good as in cinematic, you know what I'm saying? If you get my drift. Michael Blackson put it on his Instagram. This is on his TikTok. What is this? Wow, that's trippy right there. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. One showed the actual ship sideways spiraling. Bruce, hashtag Dan the driving man. and see what comes up. I haven't checked it in a while. All right, let's see. Let's see. Dan the driving man. Okay, I'm just gonna put it over here just in case it's like some crazy porn. I'm not saying, you know, there might be another Dan the driving man. That's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm seeing, Dan. This looks harmless. That's what I'm seeing. Is this you? Wait, let me go back to this UFO real quick. So, is there anything else in here? Hey, Big Rob, how you doing, man? We're just looking at UFOs. No big deal. See, some of this is fake, man. Some of this is fake. All right, here's another ad. Okay. I want to see if I can find another video of this thing. UFO Brazil. UFO Brazil. All right, so I'm not. This is what I'm seeing now. Oh, this is a crazy case right here. Dude snuck out of prison. Year ago. Where's that footage at? I think this is it right here. Is this it? Let me just see real quick. That looks fake. There's just so much fake stuff out there, man. It's kind of hard to. It's hard to keep it. To take it serious when there's so much fake stuff out there. Is this your blog, man? This is what I'm seeing. Electric vehicle. This has got to be you. This has got St. Louis car. Why are you on fox2now.com? Whoa. Holy crap, man. Now, oh, you're all about the electric vehicles, man. That's great. That's great. Dan's the real deal, just so you guys know. I was trying to find it. It's on Twitter, though. Twitter's a mess, man. I've been watching Twitter, like, to get news. Like, it's really good for, like, local, immediate news. It's really, really good. But Twitter, man, is where people get roasted. You guys notice that? The gloves come off on Twitter, man. Twitter is brutal. Okay, I'm on Twitter now, and I'm just going to look up Brazil UFO. Oh, look at that. People already typing it in. This just looks fake to me. I think this one's fake. Fake or man-made. That other one looked real, though. This must be very recent, because it's all over. All right, here's another one. What the heck? FBI, CIA, Brazil. Whoa, what the heck is that? That looks like artillery, actually. Yeah, that just looks like artillery, man. Somebody just screwing around with artillery right there. go up, and then it kind of poofs. It's coming from the ground. I mean, that looks like artillery fire to me. This one right here, though, this right here is kind of creepy. This is kind of weird. That is weird. I got to do further investigation on that one. Oh, damn. It's kind of dope. Scroll up. You passed it. Oh, okay. I guess I must have. The Brazilian government tried to shoot it down. Scroll up. There was another one. You passed it. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let's see. You said they showed the side of a ship? A UFO crashed in Brazil last night, and the government is deleting the videos. But why, though? Why would the government delete the videos? That don't make no sense. Okay, I'm looking for more UFO videos in Brazil. Is this it? Yo. That looks fake, though. This is definitely fake. This one might be fake. Yeah, this one might be fake. The lights, that's it. Yeah, this one right here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. This one kind of looks... You know what this looks like? This looks like drones. This looks like coordinated drones like they have in Disneyland. Have you ever seen those? That's just how they look. You can do that kind of those shapes and stuff with drones. When you see black choppers after sighting, it's real, Bruce. I don't know, man. I'm just being skeptical. You know what I mean? Like, watch this. Watch. Let me show you something. Disneyland drones. This is gonna blow your mind right here. Show you what I'm talking about. What they can do with drones. Get past this ad real quick. I mean, it might be real. I'm just saying it kind of looks like drones. Like, here's some drones that are coordinated and they can fly, and like you can control them to like do whatever you want, make patterns and stuff. See how they're like all forming together? Holiday drones. Like, it's making a Christmas tree with lights. See how they're moving in like 3-dimensional patterns and stuff? So, I mean, we can do this now. So that's all I'm saying. Andy says, I used to see UFOs all the time in Florida, flashing multiple colors and luring you in, and I saw a white light flash my house, then rocks thrown at my window. What? Then rocks thrown? Oh, you mean like from it taking off or something? I mean, I think definitely there's something to it. UFOs and stuff. I just think there's so much fake stuff on the internet that it's hard to. I would say maybe 1% of them are real. You know, most are fake. I would say. The reason why I believe in it is because my mom told me she saw one once, and my mom got no reason to lie to me about some damn UFOs. She don't care about any of that stuff. She does not care. And she saw this when she was a kid in like the 1950s. So I'm pretty sure she saw something, and then it wasn't just her that saw it. It was her mom, her brother, and another couple walking the other direction. So check this out. Here's the story she told me. My mom told me that when she was a kid, she lived in I want to say somewhere in California, but it was pretty divided racially, right? That's a part of the story. That's why I'm telling you that. It's pretty racially divided. It was in San Antonio, not San Antonio, San Jose, California, by Palo Alto, that area, Silicon Valley, that area. So she said she's a little kid, and they're walking down the street, and in broad daylight, they see a silver disc in the sky, making like a Z pattern, like G, 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 like moving like an aircraft can't move, right? It's not going in a straight pattern like this, you know, that going on the air. It's not floating on the air with propulsion. It's going like this, going like that, and then going like really fast. There's another couple, a white couple, walking towards them, and everybody's looking up. This other white couple's looking up. My mom, my uncle's looking up, and my grandma's all looking up, looking at it, scared because they never seen nothing like it. And she said, my mom told me it just boom went away, just like that, just gone, just like zoom like that. And she said she's walking, her mom and everybody, they're walking towards this white couple, and they like looked at each other, and they're like, "Did you see that?" And they were like, "Oh my God, what was that?" And they were like hugging each other. This is 1950s. My grandmother is hugging some random stranger white people on the sidewalk, having seen something they can't describe in the sky. So yeah, I definitely believe in it. My mom has no reason to lie to me about it. She doesn't care about science fiction or any of that stuff, you know. So yeah, I definitely believe in it personally because of that story. And then I'm sure not everybody who's seeing this stuff is just seeing nothing. They're seeing something. It's just what are they seeing? It's unidentified. We don't know. And that Navy captain who saw it, I'm pretty sure he saw something, but we don't know what it is. Unidentified flying object, you know, or whatever new name they're calling it now. But some of this is fake. This is fake. This is drones. I don't know what the heck that's fake. Fake. Same fake video. This other one though, this light one, that looked crazy. This one looks totally real. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but this looks real. The light going down is what's freaking me out. Like, what is that? All witnesses say it isn't photoshopped. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. Dan says, Bruce, you and I were in the military. I was a sergeant and guard over classified top secret installation, which I'm not going to say not a damn thing about. So you can pretty much forget it, Dan. Not getting dragged into that conversation. Changing the subject. I'm going to go ahead and read some of these comments. Let me see. A few years ago, when I was in my late 30s, I used to get a bunch of friends requests from Filipinas. None were a day older than 30. Some knew each other and surprisingly didn't seem jealous with one another. Sometimes to lure me into going to the Philippines by flirting with me, they would all tell me I was the only man for them and claim that. But Gradually, I saw it wasn't planned to go to the Philippines. Later on, I found out that the source of discussion meant behind these scammers. Sure, they were the real people, but once you went to visit them, they would expect you to feed not just them but the whole family as well. Once I was friends with someone who found out the hard way. Unfortunately, he got married to her, had a child, and one day he was asked to send him money. What? I don't understand. This whole story is kind of weird. So yeah, if anything, I would probably be better if you paid a ticket for them to come to the U.S. I don't really know what to say about that whole paragraph. I got nothing to say about it. Bruce, you won't go to jail for. You won't go to jail. You won't go to jail for you. Oh, Bruce won't go to jail for you, Dan. Ha ha. Nah, I just don't feel comfortable talking about that kind of stuff. I don't know anything, by the way, so I don't get any ideas. And if I did know anything, I don't think I would. I'm not sure that I would say it on a YouTube channel with my face on it. If you get what I mean. Dan the Driving Man says, what we can say publicly is that we're not allowed to discuss in detail anything we did for them. Haha. Hey, I don't know anything, man. I think if I did know something, I wouldn't say anything about UFOs. I honestly, I don't know anything. I don't. So I never came across any that I can neither confirm nor deny it. But I'm saying, yeah, no, I have not seen anything like that in my career. I've seen other things that I can't talk about. All right, and with that, I'm going to end this. I've been talking for about an hour and 30 minutes about random topics that hopefully will be reposted. Thanks everybody for the great conversation. Appreciate you. Thanks Big Rob. Thanks Andy for sticking around. Dan, thank you so much, sir. Birdman, if you're still there, thanks for your conversation. KP55, thanks for showing up. And everybody else, special shout out to all the Patreons out there. Appreciate everybody. I will be doing more content. And that's it, guys. Peace.